Hi Tumblr. So please excuse my makeupless appearance. I have just gotten back from camp, which is Camp Twitch and Shout, a camp for kids with Tourette's, and I'm completely exhausted. I'm going to be doing a video about my Tourette's. You guys asked a lot of questions, which is great. And I don't know if I'm going to have to split the video up into two parts. I might very well have to. But here we go. First question is, how old were you when you developed Tourette's? I was around 5 or 6 when the tics started being really apparent. My first tics were eye rolling, which I still have, and a lot of head nodding and shoulder shrugging. My vocal tics weren't very apparent until I was around 10 or 11. But my first tic was actually when I was 3, and my dad and I just figured this out a couple months ago. And we were going through family photos, and we saw a picture of me and my dad when I was like maybe 3 and a half, and we were both making a face into the camera, like our eyes doing this. And my dad and I had this little inside joke called googly eyes when I was little. And he looked up from the picture and said to me, like, "Do you think that googly eyes could have been your first tic?" He had always thought that I was just making a silly face at him because I was 3 and that's what 3-year-olds do. But we kind of realized that it was probably my first tic. So, yeah, long story short, I was around 3 when the tics first started, 5 or 6 when they first became really obvious. When was I diagnosed? I was diagnosed when I was 13. I was misdiagnosed when I was 7, and my mother was told that I was just a belligerent kid, so my mother used to punish me for my tics, which it still makes it difficult for me to let out my tics without, like, it makes it hard to freely let out my tics, because it's hard to break a 13-year habit of holding them all in. Anyway, I was diagnosed when I was 13 after my health teacher did a day on learning disabilities, dyslexia, and Tourette's. And I made my mom take me to the doctor, and I got diagnosed. How many tics would I say I have, or do they just come and go? They pretty much come and go. Currently, I'd put the number somewhere between 20 and 50, and I really have no idea what it is between those numbers. Tics I've had, like, from 3 up until now, probably somewhere over 200, and I'm not even exaggerating. I get very creative with my tics. What are some tics you've outgrown? Oh, sorry, I skipped one. What are your most common tics, motor or verbal tics? Most of my tics are motor tics. You see a lot of them in my face, moving my eyes side to side, rolling my eyes, crossing my eyes, blinking my eyes, stretching my mouth, scrunching my nose. A lot of them are in my head. Nodding my head, I do that almost constantly. Jerking my head, cracking my neck, cracking my knuckles. More complex tics, squatting, like doing squats. I have awesome upper thighs from it. It's great. My ass is great from tics. That was a little personal, but anyway. I have like a hair tugging tic, ear wiggling. You can kind of see it. Hold on. Yeah. I have the ability to wiggle my ears, and it's gotten better from my tics. I have a lot of, like, arm twitching, hand rolling, jumping tics. My motor tics are making a squeaky sound, making a sound like a hurt puppy. Sniffing or blowing air at my nose, like clicking my teeth, clicking my tongue, making a sucking sound, like a lot of different, like, consonant sounds. The humming, doing a tick. I started one at camp. That's a tick, and it kind of sounds like a clown car honking. People have different theories as to what it sounds like. Shaking my head side to side. Yeah, those are some of my most common tics. Grinding my teeth, biting my lip. You can't really see it, but my lip is all swollen over here from biting it. What are some tics you've outgrown? I've outgrown about 150 tics, so it'll be a long time to go through all those. biggest tick I outgrew was shoulder shrugging. That was my biggest tick when I was around 9. The one that my mother first like started really noticing. Oh, I had a tick when I was like 12, and it was a... And I totally forgot about that until just now. But I had that tick when I was like 12, right before I got diagnosed, and that's what bothered me. That was like one of the most bothersome ticks for a 12-year-old, you know. When you're in 7th grade, you want to fit in, and the kid who sounds like a, you know, whatever, a screechy brakes in the back of the classroom is not really going to fit in too well. Am I aware when a tick's about to happen? If so, how often do they occur? It really all depends on the day. My ticks are really bad today. I might have, I really don't know, maybe 10 per minute. When I'm relaxed, listening to music, singing, watching TV, whatever, they're a lot less. And yes, I am aware when a tick's about to happen. Hard to describe. It's a strange feeling. Oh, another tick of mine is a breath-holding tick, and I've actually had to go to the hospital because of asthma attacks for that one. So it's a lot of fun. How do I deal with them? Do I think it's better to suppress the need to tick and wait until I'm in a more private area, or just let it all out in public? Like I said, when I was little, and I sound like I'm being a little too harsh on my mom. It really wasn't her fault, I guess. Maybe it was. I don't know. But when I was little, my mom used to punish me for my tics because I didn't have a diagnosis. And so I spent 10 years holding in my tics. So it's very difficult to break out of that habit. So I do tend to suppress my tics, therefore making my anxiety a lot worse. I'm getting better about just letting them out and not giving a shit what people think. But, yeah. Around my friends, I just let it all out. Nobody cares. Do I find that when I don't eat or sleep enough, my tics get worse? My mom always says that when I was little, and even now, especially when I was little, and I'd say, you know, I'm not tired, I don't need to go to bed at like 10 o'clock at night, she could always tell when I really was tired by the fact that I was ticking more. My tics get 10,000 times worse when I'm tired. Haven't really noticed anything about eating. I'll start paying attention to that. It could be that they get worse and I just didn't notice. How has having tics affected you throughout your life? I never got bullied all that much, which is the second question about Tourette's. I haven't really gotten bullied all that much. It's more a psychological and internal thing. It's that, you know, having any kind of disorder makes you feel a lot different from everybody else. And especially as I've gotten older, you know, it's made it more difficult. You know, I've started when I was in middle school. You know, I was one of the only Jewish kids in my grade. I was the only kid who had Tourette's. I was different, and you don't want to be different in middle school. So that was kind of difficult. Do people look at you differently or misjudge you? Yeah, but my friends, I really have to say, I have incredible friends. They're all really great, and they're totally fine with my tics. I mean, my best friend, whenever I have really bad tics, she'll hug me from behind, and the pressure, I don't know if any of you guys have heard of weighted blankets for kids with autism, but it puts pressure on the torso. Same kind of thing, hugging around the stomach calms down my tics. So it works for a lot of different disorders. Tourette's happens to be one of them. Knowing that I have Tourette's, am I self-conscious about it? Depends on where I am. Usually, yeah. Around my family, I am. Around my cousin, I'm not. My cousin has Tourette's too. It's a genetic disorder, and he's 12. He has more vocal tics than I have, and I have more motor tics than he has. So, but we both have Tourette's, and, you know, same kind of emotions come along with it. We have different disorders. Tourette syndrome is like I call it a package deal disorder, where very, very few kids who have Tourette's, like, very rarely is Tourette's the only thing somebody will have. I have Tourette's, OCD. OCD is my most bothersome disorder. At least it was a couple years ago. It's gotten a lot better now. I have anxiety, depression, though I don't know if that has anything to do with Tourette's. Seasonal affective disorder, very mild ADD and sensory processing disorder. If you guys have questions about it, drop them in my ask box. I'm willing to answer anything. So, yeah, I mean, you know, that's made it a little difficult. My cousin has different disorders. He has oppositional defiance disorder, which makes it hell for his parents to deal with, and he has bipolar and ADHD. Have I ever been bullied? I think I answered that. Not really. A little bit in middle school, but the kids who did bully me were really vicious. Like, the whole grade didn't gang up against me, but the few kids who were mean were really mean. They have, like, no souls. And when out in public, do people stare at you? Yeah, they do. If my tics are really bad, I'll wear one of my Tourette's shirts. I have one from camp. I have a shirt that says Tourette's ticks me off. Get it? Very punny. I have a shirt that says Life's a Twitch. And I'm getting a shirt that's on the back says Ask me about my Tourette's. It's not what you think. So I tend to, if I know my tics are going to be bad, I'll wear those. I just kind of ignore people. Sometimes if they're really staring, I'll wait for them to make them feel uncomfortable and awkward. And it's fun. If I'm next to somebody in line and I'm ticking really bad, once in a while I'll explain that I have Tourette's. When I'm on an airplane, that's the only time I always explain it. Whenever I sit down next to somebody, I give them my little rehearsed speech. You know, hi, my name is Audrey. I happen to have Tourette's syndrome. It's a neurological disorder that causes movements and sounds that I can't control. I happen to have a mild case of Tourette's syndrome, so it probably won't bother you. But in the event that it does, I want to let you know that I have it. Thank you for your time. I tell everybody that. It's been programmed into my brain. So, yeah, that's the end of the questions. I don't know how long this video has been. Oh, Jesus, it's 11 minutes. Okay, I guess that's it. If you guys have any more questions about Tourette's or my other disorders, drop them in my Ask box. I'm a very open person, even though I'm sharing this with like 7,000 people on the internet. Probably a bad idea. Whatever. YOLO. So, thanks for watching. Any of you stayed to the end, and I love you all.